Hey guys, Krista here with Classic Custom Organizations. I have never actually done an introduction video or I guess you could say I've never actually introduced myself or done like an actual vlog. It's always been my kids and I doing DIY stuff together. I've gotten a lot of questions about why I haven't been posting on YouTube, why I haven't been doing my videos, and that's kind of what this video is going to be about. I have had to take some personal time, and I'm sorry if I'm breathing heavy. That's part of what's going on. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But so as you guys might know, or some of you don't, I am a single mother with 3 kids. And I pretty much do it on my own. I normally work a full-time job. I've got a few side hustles, stuff like that. But the YouTube, the kids and I never made a YouTube channel to profit off of it. It was merely something that we like to do. We like to put things together. There have been a few people who have got with me and, you know, they've paid me to do some things for them, but it was never about that. I've just always been a do-it-yourself type girl. I was raised by my father, and so I can pretty much do anything. But this video is mainly going to be focused on some of the things that I've been going through so that maybe I can help someone else. This is going to be like very raw and unfiltered. Obviously, no makeup, no lashes, no nails. I currently have been off work for, I'd say this is like the 3rd week, and I have like another 3 or 4 weeks until I go back to the doctor. But for a long time, I had been experiencing a lot of different symptoms, and I wasn't exactly sure whether those were normal or whether, you know, I'm a push forward type female or woman, whatever you guys want to call. But I normally don't ever let me feeling sick or like struggles get in my way. I'm just kind of like, you know what, it has to be done. We got to do it. It's going to get done. And as of maybe about a year or so ago, these symptoms have gotten a lot worse. I was sweating profusely at night. And no, I don't have the heater on here in the house. It's probably 67 in here right now. I wasn't sleeping. I was associating it with kind of like insomnia. Oh, I've got 3 kids. I keep waking up with these extreme adrenaline rushes. It's because I'm a single mother and I'm worried about my kids. You know, let me go check on the kids. I've always associated me not sleeping with me having the kids. I started to get short of breath. And at the time I was smoking. I quit smoking about, I don't know, 28, it's been about a month or a little bit longer than a month. I quit smoking. I've never been a drinker, but when I would drink occasionally, like out with my friends, I noticed that it would make me faint, or it would make me almost impairable. I know some people are like, well, that's what drinking does. I was never a heavy drinker. I didn't like drinking. It makes my stomach hurt. I've also dealt with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, for years. I've been on all different types of medications, probably 4 or 5 different medications over the past 5 or 6 years. Excuse me. So I've been seeing all these doctors for all these years. I used to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm having a panic attack or I'm having anxiety. And so my family members have always said, oh, you have anxiety. You are a single mother with 3 kids and you're anxious and you're this and you're that. And pretty much making me think that I was mentally ill. Okay. I've been to therapists at one point in my life when I was extremely low. I mean, like, lowest point of my life was probably when my youngest son's father and I broke up. This was some years ago. There was a lot of things going on at the time. I can get into that on another video, but there was custody battles and police, and someone had called CPS, and I mean, it was, you know, his parents tried to take custody of my child, and all of that got dismissed. My kids are great, they live with me. So I'm past that. But at that time, I had checked myself into an outpatient mental health facility, which means I was not sleeping there. I was not, you know, I didn't leave my kids. I just took a short-term medical leave from work, and for a few months, I went to therapy, which therapy actually was really good for me. But with that being said, there was no diagnosis. I'm not mentally ill. I was not given medication. I'm not bipolar. I don't have a panic disorder. Yeah, they basically said, you have acute anxiety. It's situational anxiety. You're going through a lot right now. You know, you'll be all right. So I've done all these things. I've gone to the gastro doctor. I've had multiple endoscopies done. I've had colonoscopies done. And I'm only 31, okay? I'll be 32 in April of this year. But I'm very young for a lot of the issues that I was dealing with. I've been to the gynecologist, where my endocrinologist is, who's checked all my hormones to make sure that, you know, all my female parts were working properly. All my blood work came back good. I believe I was vitamin D deficient, and so they gave me a supplement for that. But for the most part, I have always been an athlete. I'm very active, played a lot of sports, did ROTC, drill team. I'm very small. So I'm about 5'1", 5'2", about 130, maybe not even that anymore. I've lost some weight, but I'm very small framed. So the doctors just kept saying, gosh, you're so young. You couldn't possibly have, you know, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And so it wasn't until I started having these fainting spells that started freaking me out, essentially. And I'm sorry if I say a lot. I'm new to the vlogging, talking thing, so just bear with me. I just want to get some information out so that you guys know why I've been missing, and I guess help some people who have some of the same issues that I do. Because like I said, I am young. I do look very healthy. I'm not, you know, missing a limb or anything. Most people associate like disability with, oh, you're missing a limb, or oh, you're, sorry, something's in my eye, or oh, mental illness or something like that. But you can be young and you can look healthy and you can still function normally to a certain degree and no one know that there's anything wrong with you. And so for the longest, the doctor just kept saying, gosh, you must have anxiety. Oh my gosh, you're so overwhelmed, and do. And although I do carry a big load, I knew that something different was going on. And so I started pushing the issue with a bunch of different doctors. I was like, I need to see a cardiologist. Something's going on with my heart. You know, I'm having these rapid pulse rates when I'm standing on my feet, or when I'm in a hot place, or when I'm taking a shower. I kept having, right up in here, up above where your rib cage meets, I kept having these tight squeezes. I mean, it was almost unbearable. It would put me on the floor, especially in an excited situation where your blood pressure or your pulse gets elevated. The pain was excruciating. And because I was on GERD medication, which is like acid reflux, the stomach doctors kept saying, well, you know, you're fine. You might have a slipping hiatal hernia, which they did see some signs of during the endoscopies, but wasn't officially confirmed at any point. They were like, you know, we could do surgery on you and this and that. And I was like, whoa. I'm not opposed to surgery. If that's the only way to fix something, then obviously, you do it. But I like to take the approach of what can I change in my eating, or what can I do that's healthier, or, so I always associated this pain with acid reflux, even though I was taking medication that did not make my throat burn or anything like that. So I wasn't having the acid symptoms. It was just the pain in my chest. Also, my heart would beat really fast sporadically and be flickering, and it's kind of difficult to explain to someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about or who hasn't experienced this. But inevitably, my health was kind of deteriorating. I wasn't myself. I wasn't able to sleep. I was exhausted. I wasn't able to do things with my kids, and like all these things were super abnormal. My kids even started to see like, Mom can't do these things. Like, what's going on with Mom? She's out of breath. Even going up the stairs in my house, or doing the dishes, or cooking some eggs. Like, those are things that you shouldn't be out of breath. Especially if you're not, unhealthy. Like, I mean, I was eating pretty good. And I would say the only thing I was really lacking was hydration. I know I wasn't hydrating myself properly. And remember, I said I was smoking. So I quit that. And about a month and a half ago, I started going to another doctor who's a primary care physician here in Houston. And, about 5 years ago, he told me, oh, you have anxiety. Okay. Well, it wasn't until I started pushing this issue about my heart, something's going on. And so that's when he started ordering a bunch of tests. He wanted me to keep a notebook, which I started monitoring my blood pressure and my pulse. And I got both of those items off of Amazon. Super helpful. You can carry them in your bag. I don't really carry a purse, except every so often if I'm going out somewhere, but I carry a backpack. And I would keep those things in my bag, and I started writing down the different numbers and what was going on. And for the most part, my blood pressure was pretty normal, but it was my heart rate when I would stand or get up in the morning, to do something, that it would literally skyrocket. And I'll insert some of those videos that I've taken of myself actually monitoring my heart rate, and you'll see what happens. I'll insert some of those. My pulse when I got out was 158. I'm out of breath. I'm gonna sit down. It's going down, but taking a bath or a shower is like so hard. So now that I'm in bed with my feet up, let's see where we are. Normal. Amazing, right? But it was extremely scary. And I got to talking to one of my best friends who's known me my whole life. She literally grew up with me, and she said, Krista, you've been experiencing this since we were teenagers. And I never really put the two together. Remember, I was raised by my dad. He runs a business, very busy. And he's got some health issues, but they're completely separate than what I'm dealing with. I'm also a female, so our anatomies are completely different. And he's kind of one of those guys that's like, you can do it. You just mentally fight it off, and you just handle it mentally, and you can control it. And so I lived like that for a very long time, and I was suffering internally so bad that I started falling into depression. And at the time I didn't really know what depression was. I just would isolate myself and without warning. Like I wouldn't tell my friends, I wouldn't tell anyone I was talking to. Like I would just distance myself, ghost them, and be by myself with my kids, which is unhealthy. I'll tell you guys that. There's nothing wrong with, you know, taking a break and getting back to you, but when you continuously do that, that's not healthy. So back to what I was saying. I started going to all these doctors, and when I found my primary care physician, he started running a bunch of tests. He did a 24-hour urine specimen, which means for 24 hours, every time you use the restroom, you have to pee in this big jug. That jug, okay? Not fun, but it is what it is. And they got the results back from that and said, oh, well, you know, your urine looks really good. You're hydrated. He was concerned about some levels being off. I might have had, you know, maybe tumors on my adrenaline glands. And he just kind of wanted to X those things off the list. So that wasn't an issue. When I went to the endocrinologist, like I stated before, hormone levels, that wasn't an issue. I didn't need a supplement for that. I just started taking vitamin D. So I started researching all of these things that I was dealing with. I had spotting on my legs, which is like the discoloration of your legs. My feet are constantly sweating. They're constantly wet. I was just like not understanding why. They're freezing cold. My hands normally are freezing cold. I started getting brain fog really bad, which I'm a very snappy person, okay? I've been working at my job for a very long time, and I'm a very snappy person. I started like forgetting addresses, and, you know, I'd be sitting there at my computer trying to type, and I'd be like, oh, wow, what am I typing? You know, just brain farts and stuff like that. So I started looking up what's called POTS dysautonomia, P-O-T-S. And I was like, whoa, I have all the symptoms, like not being able to wear my hair in a ponytail really tight because my head hurts, being super heat sensitive, the fainting, which the fainting wasn't happening very often. I just remember when I was in college, I was a correctional officer for TDC. And I had got pregnant with my son, my oldest son. He's 12 now. So I was working there while I was pregnant. And I remember one day we were in the cafeteria, and when you work in a prison, I don't know if all prisons are different, but where I worked, they lock you in with the inmates. So if you want to go out in the hallway, you can't just go out in the hallway. You have to beat on the door for a sergeant or someone with keys to come open the door. So I ended up, it started out kind of like a blackout mode where your hearing kind of goes out and you just kind of hear what's in your head. You can like hear your heart beating really fast. You can hear yourself swallowing and breathing. And then my vision went black and I fainted. So there were like 3 or 4 inmates, yes, inmates, that picked me up, okay, and were beating on the door for someone to come open the door to get me to the medical clinic, okay. I thought, oh, I'm pregnant, it's hot, this is normal, okay? It's not normal. But I'm thinking, oh, it's normal. And at the time when I was pregnant with my son, I didn't really have communication with my family. I didn't even live in the same city. So I was very much alone, trying to figure out what was going on. I figured, oh, when you're pregnant, your blood flow's not right. It's because I'm pregnant. Okay, that was the first faint. Then later on that school year, I'm still pregnant. I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We were standing in line, the other students and I in my class, we were standing in line to get our books from the bookstore. And I just remember the same exact like syncope trying to come on. Like all of a sudden I couldn't hear and my vision was going black and I fainted standing in line for the books. So of course everyone around me is like, oh my gosh, you know, they're helping me out. And I said, you know, I think it's because I'm pregnant. I think that my blood flow is off. Maybe the baby is taking all my blood flow and my body is not functioning properly. So once again, I just kind of threw it off, didn't think about it. And that was the second faint. So I gave birth to my son, you know, a couple years passed by. Back then when I was younger, because I gave birth to my son at 19, okay? So when I was younger, I did used to drink alcohol and I did used to do all type of things, especially in college. And so I had went out to a lounge. Some of y'all in Houston might know, it's called the Flat, okay? I was at the Flat and I had a drink and I was standing up at the bar and I fell over. And everyone in there is like, oh my gosh, she's drunk. And I'm like, no, I'm not drunk. I had one drink. Like, I don't know what was going on. So again, I disassociated. I was like, oh, you know, whatever. What if there was something in my drink? Or what if, you know, I was too hot? Because it was hot in there. And so I just kind of didn't think about it. As the years have gone by, you know, I told you I do a lot of DIY. So I mow my own yard, I do my lawn work, and I would notice that I would get extremely overheated and my head here and back here would hurt so bad. And I used to wear glasses. So I used to think, oh, the glasses are too tight. Again, I'm finding reasons to ignore the symptoms, right? And I would think, oh my gosh, you know, I need to go inside and cool off and take my glasses off. Well, I got LASIK a couple years ago, and that pain back here when I used to get overheated didn't go away. So I was like, well, damn, I'm not even wearing glasses anymore. What is going on, right?